My son would come home crying his eyes out and can't tell me what's wrong because it hurts, Mama, it hurts, Mama.
Every day?
Yes. As a mother, that is the worst feeling ever. Putting your kids in daycare so you can make a living, and then when they come home, they're hurting from that.
Like they always say, guys have their little secrets.
What is the secret?
I don't want to say nothing. You're making up excuses. Is it something you're trying to hide? Is it something Josh know about you that you're trying to hide? It's just too much of a friendship. I need to know answers.
Plaintiff Blanca Morgan claims the defendant knowingly defrauded her out of $2,225 in childcare costs. She's suing for the balance owed. Defendant Nicole Carey claims the plaintiff's childcare service was subpar and left her children in tears.
This is case 81 on the docket, Morgan versus Carey.
We have here the plaintiff, Ms. Morgan, suing the defendant for 2 months of unpaid child care costs. You own a daycare in your home called the Awesome Blossom Daycare?
Awesome Blossom Childcare.
Childcare, excuse me. And you watch the defendant's 2 children, ages 2 and 4, for close to 3 months. All right?
It's not fair. Really good childcare is really hard to come by, and people like her are making it more difficult.
People like me.
Yes, you completely ignore me after I text you and say, they're not going to pay. How are we going to work it out? Then I text you again, you can do $200 each month until you get it paid. Yes, I did.
Do you have a copy of the text?
I don't, because I broke my phone.
No, because you don't have any.
I sent you a letter.
A letter I never received.
It's really upsetting.
I know. I know. Let me just ask this question.
Sure.
When you charge at a child care center, what do you charge people for bringing children there? And do they pay every week? How does it work?
It's $650 for the youngest, $1,600 for the oldest a month.
So it's $1,250 a month for both children. And how many months were they there?
They were November, December, and part of January.
The defendant is Nicole Carey?
Yes.
Let me hear your story.
So in October, I posted on Facebook looking for daycare because I was in need of daycare. I was a union carpenter apprentice.
Yes.
And they pay for my childcare.
The union pays for your daycare?
Yeah, so I contacted her, and she did have openings, and so I went and interviewed.
Yeah.
And she has cats, and I asked her if they were indoor or outdoor cats. And she, because my daughter is allergic to fleas, she told me they were outdoor cats.
So you wouldn't want an outdoor cat?
Yes,
yeah.
And she told me they were outdoor cats at the time. I was in need of daycare, so they started within a couple days, and my daughter started coming home with bug bites.
So the next morning, when you dropped her off, you went to talk to?
Yes, and then when I started noticing the fleas, I had talked to Blanca, and she said they must not be coming from there. They must be coming from somewhere else. And then I would put medicine, bug bite medicine, over-the-counter bug bite medicine on my daughter every night, and she would itch and itch and itch. At that time, she was 3, she wasn't 4 yet. And she would itch and cry, that, ow, I itch, I itch. And then my son would come home with diaper rashes. And he loves water, like so much, he plugs his nose and does the swimming thing on the floor. And he's only 2, and he loves water. So when I would put him into the bath, and he would scream and cry and say that
because
he doesn't want a bath because it hurts so bad.
But do we have any evidence?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
That's what I was getting ready to show you. Here's a picture of my children as well, and a picture of the flea bites. I didn't think it was appropriate to take a picture of, and those are just the scars on those flea bites of the scars from the situation.
And these are where the bites are, I assume.
Those are the scars of the bites.
Okay.
As it's been a few months.
And your name is, I'm sorry?
Jose.
What can you add to this?
Yeah, I usually worked later, and she worked mornings, and I would drop off the kids to her. There was somebody also there, a man that we never got introduced to, or God said that was going to be with the kids alone, especially.
She never put a complaint about anything. And she knows that everyone who is in that household, which is my home, has to go to certain standards through the DHS and through the Department of Oregon, because I have a license through them. They have to do the background, they have to do training and CPRs and food program, everything.
As a mother, that is the worst feeling ever, is putting your kids in daycare so you can make a living, and then when they come home, they're hurting from that. And then he calls me and blowing my phone up while I'm at work, and I answer it, and he's all, why am I dropping the kids off with some man that we have never met?
He's my husband, and he is a standby, just in case of emergencies.
Okay.
And she had any claims.
And I'm all the way
she could have
150
called
miles
them.
away from my residence working.
Every day.
Yes, driving back and forth every single day, leaving at
That's-
3:30 in the morning to make it to work by 6 o'clock.
I was flexible enough to wait for DHS to do what they needed to do, so that way you can go to work without worrying.
How much did we get from DHS?
A total of $12.25, and 25 is that $1.
You're suing for $2,225.
And they say that
What?
she knew that December wasn't going to get covered.
Wait a second. This letter, which, by the way, is March 1st.
That's when I finally had a hold of somebody because I
Okay,
told them.
but DHS was helping pay for 100% of Nicole Carey's child care payments, as she is enrolled in an apprentice contract. However, being in such contract, there is a maximum amount that DHS will pay, $9,000.
I was unaware of that, and I have the email right here that states that on January 15th is when I found out, and I no longer took my kids to daycare at that point.
Okay.
She maxed out her.
Because I had used daycare prior to that for other daycare provider.
You had already
Yes.
maxed out with some other daycare center before
Yes.
this.
But they didn't let me know until January 15th, and at
Okay.
that point, I never took my kids to daycare
That's
after
a
that
lie.
point.
I am assuming that everyone here is operating on good faith.
She did mention she went to Disneyland either in December or January. So I don't know how she cannot afford daycare.
I guess my question is, at some point, even if there's an issue about where else do I bring my kid, the priority right then is your children, and yikes, I better not bring them there tomorrow, and find a relative, find someone to watch your kid
Yes.
instead of bringing them into a situation which you said is being caused by the child care center.
I have no family that lives near. Both my parents are passed away. I have nobody.
At
It's
some
me.
point, and this is true in many situations when you got your children, part of the real difficult thing in being a parent is you're left with sometimes tough choices, or what am I going to do? But if your child is screaming at night because of, and I'm saying, for the days that your child was there, under the law, she is entitled to be paid. And therefore,
For
a
subpar-
fine for the plaintiff, $2,225.
Thank you, Your Honor. Really good childcare is really hard to come by, and people like them who just smear them lies makes it more difficult for good childcare to be out there.
I don't think she deserves to be paid for subpar childcare.
Plaintiff Michael Thomas claims his ex-best friend owes him for unpaid loans and car damages. He's suing for $3,500. Defendant Joshua Samuels claims everything he got from the plaintiff was a gift, not a loan. So he owes him nothing.
Judge,
Good morning, Najee.
it's case number 91 on the docket, Thomas versus Samuels.
Okay. The plaintiff, Mr. Thomas, you are suing the defendant, Mr. Samuels, for $3,500 for an unpaid loan and car damage.
I've been trying to help him out, me and him like best friends, like really like my little brother. And like I always said,
Oh, you treat him like a little brother?
Yes, sir.
How
You
long
know-
you been friends?
about 6 years.
6 years, okay.
Yes, sir. Back in July of last year, he was getting ready to go to school or whatever. And I wanted to help him out, get him situated. He was getting ready to go to college. And I gave him a loan for $1,500.
$1,500?
And it was agreement, understood from day one. It was just a loan. He was gonna pay me back once he got to school and got situated. Unfortunately, due to some technicalities, he couldn't get himself situated or whatever with school. So he came back to help him with job placement and everything. I lent him another $500, which was also understood as a loan.
But according to you, he hadn't paid back the $1,500.
No, sir. No, sir. Not yet. Not yet. When
Okay,
he came
so
back,
now it's $2,000 you're saying you loaned him.
yes, sir. I also loaned him a vehicle so he can get back and forth because the school that he was going to at the time was like 2.5 hours away from where we stayed at.
You loaned him a car
Yes, sir.
and $2,000.
Yes, sir.
What do you say about this?
Honestly, Judge, it hurts my heart to know that my used to be good friend choosing money over friendship, because the $1,500 he's talking about was never a loan, it was given as a friend. Now the card was another gift for him as a friend.
Did that strike you as strange that, wow, that's a heck of a...
Yes, Your Honor, because
that's a lot of
during
money,
them
isn't
6 years, he never asked for money back, because it'll be times where I'll be out and I ain't have it, he'll pay for it. Or we'll go out again, he ain't have it, I'll pay for it. That type of friendship. It was never this, oh, pay me back in this amount of time. He knew I was gonna pay him back.
And you are, excuse me?
This is my wife.
Alexandria Thomas. I am the
You can step
plaintiff
to the
wife.
podium. You're his wife, okay. What do you know about this?
We're married. We've been married for 6 years now.
Yes.
And whatever he does, it comes back on me as well. I just feel like the whole friendship is just too much.
Did you know he was loaning him this kind of money or
Not
giving him
at
this
first.
money?
Not at first.
You've been married for 6 years.
And it's
You're
just-
giving what looks like a lot of money
It's weird
and
to
a car.
me.
Why wouldn't you check with her first?
Like I said, this is my friend.
Well,
I look
yeah,
at him
but
like a
that's your
brother.
wife.
And, you know, like they always say, you know, guys have their little secrets. Well, and I explained to him before he went to school.
What? Okay.
I said, I
There's
need
nothing
this
wrong
back.
with being a friend. What is the secret?
That's what I'm trying to understand,
It
because
wasn't
at the
no
end of the day, you're married, but you're not explaining to your wife all the money, all the funds that you're releasing to your homeboy. This is your homeboy, not
Why
your
do you
wife.
think he's giving the money to his homeboy?
We argue, and I asked him, is it something you're trying to hide? Is it something Josh know about you that you're trying to hide, that you keep giving him stuff to cover up?
He's
or
giving him
something?
money because he's keeping a secret of his?
It's something, because it's you giving money. That's money. You not caring if we argue. That's your home. You have to lay with me every night, so you don't feel no type of way with your wife being upset with you. You don't feel no type of way with me cussing you out and doing all this extra stuff when I need to know answers. You telling me, oh, this is my friend, I'm just trying to help him. You know, people don't make it out the hood. I don't care about people making it out the hood.
Did you sign anything which
No,
says...
I didn't sign anything.
You never signed anything
No.
to say, I will pay you back?
Yes, he did. Sir, I have a promissory note right here
I'd like to see it.
between me and Mr. Samuels. He signed, I signed, and my wife signed as my witness.
So it appears every 2 weeks for 3 times. You pay $250, 2 weeks later, $250, 2 weeks later, $200. And
Yes,
it
sir.
says here, I, Joshua K. Samuel, knowingly and acknowledge that this is a contract of payment between myself and Michael Thomas on November 8th of 2018. I read, agree, and fully understand the payment arrangements we agreed to upon the total amount of $4,200. I assume that's what you're saying is the $2,000 plus car damage?
Yes, sir.
And car damage came where?
I didn't wreck it, my girlfriend did. I was in the car with her, so I did feel a little responsibility for that. So I manned up, called him, let him know the situation. So he picked me up, we went to go get repairs. So I told him I would pay him back. Not all of it at once, because I didn't have it at the
Okay,
time.
so why are we here? Did he stop making payments?
Yes, sir. I haven't received anything from Joshua since last year.
And what do you say
December.
about that?
That day he came at me aggressive and wanted all the money at once. I told him
Did you?
I came at him aggressive, Your Honor, because he ignored my calls. I kept calling him. If you can look on the document, if you feel like I didn't, if it was a loan, then why would you sign a document for $4,200?
How late was he before you went to, as you say, aggressively say, hey, buddy?
February.
Oh, so it was a couple of months later?
Yes, sir.
So you went a couple of months without sending him anything?
And all I got was excuses, lie. Oh, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you. I got you. And I
As
get paid.
friends of 6 years, I'm expecting him to understand, like, I don't know what happened, why he came at me aggressive and wanted all the money at once. Maybe
Because
like
I got
his
a
wife, like his wife
I got
said.
a wife. I got a household.
She wanted
Okay,
to know
but
what's
here's
really
what
going
I have to
on.
deal with here in the court. When did you say to him, I want all the money
in
now?
February. When I finally talked to him in February, he finally
Okay.
answered. That's when I
So
explained.
that can't be the reason that you stopped paying in December, because it went like 2 months without you paying before he got upset. If he had gotten upset in December and you were making the payments, then I would say he would have breached the contract, because the contract was you would pay every 2 weeks. But you're both agreeing he didn't violate that, because he didn't come to you and say, I want it all, until you hadn't paid for 2 months, which is a normal reaction someone would have.
I look at him like a little brother. That's why I would do anything. And what
Yes.
we said,
What's
Your
your
Honor,
news?
I have a friend that I've been friends with over 15 years. My friend had got put out of her home. I have a 4-bedroom house. I'm not gonna let my friend come stay with me. That's how I am. I'm sorry. It's just too much. Like, that's just too much of a friendship. You giving out money, you giving out cars, you're making up excuses.
Okay, you started out as being a real nice guy.
because he's a Jew. Your Honor, where we from, people don't go to school often. When my friend tell me, and if I'm a true friend, I'm not gonna hold you back. I'm not gonna hold you down. I'm not gonna stop you from being able to progress your life. You asked me for a favor. When I gave it to him. Being honest, sorry,
And
baby.
this was a favor, you're saying.
I even wrote it.
It wasn't because you were holding anything over his head.
No, it was just the 1,500 was, I accepted as, here, we've been friends, I see what you're doing, I acknowledge it, and I just want to see you
How
keep
is
going.
that? I even wrote it in the letter. I said, bro, I need this back because you
All
already
right.
know how she is. I said, bro, I need this back. I said, here to go to 15. You say you'll give it to me in 30 days. I said, you got 60. I said, they give you enough time to get on your feet and get you a job.
When he got angry, why wouldn't you have made some payment to him?
I was trying to pay more than the $250. I was trying to get 2 checks so I can pay at least $500 or more.
Texas came, you didn't give me
All
a
right.
dime.
He sent me a letter of encouragement. In this letter, he did say about the 1,500 he would eventually need back.
Let me read this. Okay, I tell you all the time, I wish I made better choices. I made mistakes and I've learned from them. I just hope you carry my lessons and turn them into blessings for you. Wow. I'm not going to beat you down with all of this sensitive blank, but I need this change back ASAP. She also talking blank because I let you use the car, but 1,500, she is going to stab my butt. I'm suing you to pay me. Get on your feet and shine, bruh. P.S. Don't say blank about this money to her or around her. Just call when you come down. We will meet as usual. Congrats, my boy.
That's what I have problems with. Why am I not being told when my funds are being released?
I understand what you're saying, but I can't solve the marriage problem right here. That's something you guys are going to have to deal with because that's not the lawsuit. But I understand what you're saying. You should have gone to your wife before you do stuff like this. If he's a really good friend and you really want to help him, then that's a discussion you can have with your wife. You can't just on your own, any more than you'd want her to start taking money out of the account and taking your car and giving it to someone else. I mean, that's what a marriage is supposed to be. You work on this together. You're in a partnership. And he was really nice to you. That's a lot of money. And there ought to be an expectation, as you agreed, to pay back. Anyone would get upset if he hasn't gotten a payment in 3 months, whether it's because his wife is on his back or anything else. You should have made some payments, and you didn't. So I fined for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,500.
I'm just happy that I'm able to get my funds put back in my account, and I'm switching accounts.
I hate the fact that me and him ain't friends like that no more, and I'm glad the fact that she can have the money back and she will be smiling.
Friendship between me and him is over.